What is up, y'all? It's Your House, Our Rules back with another episode. I am Spillz, and we're back with fucking Whack Jack. He wanted to talk about some stuff. We're back at it, so let's get it. What the fuck?
I have no idea.
What the fuck?
Random.
Hey, bro. Started off with just loads of cum on your face, bro. Fucking, that's
No idea.
nice way to start, bro. You planned that, didn't you?
I don't know what I did.
Nah, he's not technically sound enough to figure out how the fuck to do that. So.
Apparently,
Yeah, no, I believe you.
I get rained on or creamed
No,
on.
fair enough, bro. Fuck it, it is what it is. So
Right.
let's get into this. You said you want to talk about a couple things. The way the podcast is kind of moving right now, I'm kind of just leaving it open. I'm done knocking down doors. I've told everybody who's been on the podcast before, if you want to, everything's plug and play. Literally, I just plug in, I'm ready to go. So fucking Jack's here. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to talk about a little bit of maybe deep shit and maybe a little bit not so deep shit because we got the fantasy league and stuff like that I know football's a big thing that everyone wants to talk about. I know you and Wallet and Stolzy are just like, that's all y'all want to talk about for the most part is sports. But we can switch it up. At least you'll come out with some other stuff. So, yeah. What you got, bro?
Anything. First of all, I'll talk about anything.
Yeah,
I have knowledge on most things. Unless you ask me about cooking or cars, bro, I got something to talk about.
Yeah, I had my buddy Andre actually hit me up last night. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go to I forget what it was called. It was called Tune In something." And he was like, "Do you want to come like watch these dragsters like suit up their cars and stuff like that?" I was like, "No, not really." He knows that like I was raised on like dirt tracks and stuff like that, like with Uncle Kevin and my dad and stuff like that. And he knows that like I did that stuff. I was like, we should go to a race like at Lawrenceburg sometime. But he was like, he's like, you're a car guy, right? And I was like, no, not really. I was like, I grew up in the culture, but when it comes down to it, I was like, I got that Mustang. He's like, well, that's why I thought you were a car guy. I was like, people come up to me and ask me like, what you got in it? And I'm like, dude, this shit's stock. I like it because it looks good.
Right.
Fucking, yeah, like that's all I got for you, man.
That's me.
But it is a nice car. It is a nice car. It needs a little cosmetic work right now, but besides that, it's a nice little whip. I've been driving around because I got a flat tire, but that's neither here nor there. So, what you got? What do you want to talk about today, buddy?
I mean, if we're gonna start off, I mean, we got the election coming up. I mean,
I'm down to talk about it. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's chaos. I've voted on the left side of things my whole life. Going through college, getting my political science degree. I voted for my first presidential election was for Obama in 2008. When Obama got reelected, is about the first time I started realizing how much of the shit that I was listening to was just bullshit. I mean, a lot of things that he said, just like, the man could talk for sure, right?
Oh yeah, he's a great public
Yeah,
speaker.
great public speaker, although he's biffed recently, and it's been funny trying to see the media cover that up. But yeah, he can carry a conversation. He's confident and he's articulate. So those things matter, and people respond to that in a leader. But behind the scenes, like all the things that I expected from someone who actually wanted to institute change, it's like you're still just drone bombing people. You're still just killing people. The war machine
But I
is still
mean,
going.
but isn't that kind of just the American way, though? No matter what president we have, they're going to be bombing someone. Stolze said it the other day. He was like, vote red, vote. He's like, vote red, fight Israel. Vote blue, fight Ukraine. And I was like, it's kind of true because like both sides kind of have their war right now that they're kind of like sponsoring.
Right.
Even though we don't really want to admit that we are, but yeah, it's definitely a thing. So it's kind of just the American way. But
Which I mean, also on that topic, I mean, how is the left also not still? I mean, they're trying to back out maybe from like backing all the Israel shit, but like, bro, come on, like,
yeah,
we force fed all that. We've been helping all sides. We've been supplying. It's American tactic, bro. We're selling guns to everybody. Profits over people. That's that
always.
Yeah, profits over
Always,
people.
baby.
Corporations, I mean, this isn't news to anybody. If it is, then I don't know what you're doing. There's like 3 corporations. They're running this country.
Oh yeah, no, I say it a lot that a lot of people don't really understand that the people who really make the moves, like politicians, are kind of figureheads for the big corporations that are financially like spending stuff. And when it comes down to it, war makes money. You can profit a lot off war. So I mean, we have Iraq and stuff like that. People can't grasp their head around the fact, like, if you do buy into it, and I'm not saying that I do buy into it, but like the whole Bush does 9/11 and stuff like that. When that type of thing happens, it's like, well, why would we like bomb ourselves in order to do that? It's like, if you don't know anything about like Afghanistan and like that area and stuff like that, or Iraq, well, one, oil, two, like that, those areas, Afghanistan, because that was Iraq. Afghanistan's a little bit different, but Afghanistan, it's like 92% of the world's opiate distribution, illegal opiate distribution, is from the poppy seeds that they grow in Afghanistan, stuff like that. It's like there's always some underseated tactic that they're using to make money somewhere. So
For sure. No.
yeah, and dude, that's why we get the bombings and stuff like that, because you need to make it look good.
Right.
You need to make it look good.
Yeah, we went to Iraq,
Sure.
went to Afghanistan, didn't touch the Saudis,
Yeah, nah.
Whatever.
Well, they got that big money though. You don't want to fuck up the economic system over there, because they dominate a lot of stuff. Have you ever heard about like the guy who made the hydrogen, or not the hydrogen, the saltwater powered car or whatever? And fucking this was back in like the 90s or something. It's something that actually just came on my radar recently, and it was like this guy who was an American guy, and he figured out he made a car that was powered by like salt water. Like 75% of the world is salt water, so like this is a natural resource that is like indefinite almost. Like,
Yeah, right.
And apparently he was killed. And a lot of the stuff that he was saying, or the like people around him were saying, was that he was like approached by like these Saudi princes and stuff like that were like offering him $1 billion to just cover it up and not speak about it, because they're oil barons. They own most of the world's oil, and they can't profit off of someone creating something that would essentially put them out of business.
Right.
I wish I knew the dude's name. I'd have you look into it. I'll probably look into it after this and kind of send that to you. But
now.
yeah, I haven't got into it all too much, but it's something that I've been seeing pop up a lot on my stuff. So I know YouTube had, how like YouTube ads sometimes will like just give you these straight up documentaries and stuff like that on there, like straight up 30-minute videos. One time I was watching it, and it like popped up like one of those things. And now this also comes to like shows a lot about me, because I'm watching some of that fucking stupid conspiracy theory stuff, so obviously that's popping up in my recommended stuff. And, yeah, but
I see it.
It just goes.
November 3rd, 2020. Stanley Meyer, the inventor of the water-powered car.
I thought this was in the 90s, but
It might have been. I mean, well, I don't know. This is just the first thing that I popped up. Who knows? Anyway, whatever.
yeah, but we can circle back around to the whole what we're going on, because you were talking about your first time voting with Obama and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, my thing with that was like, I've been, I really do consider myself to be progressive minded. I
don't
believe.
we all though?
Yeah. Right. Well, I
Because
believe
the fact that the
believe in
left gets
freedom.
called progressive is kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
Right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
definitely more like center left ish, like libertarian. But I believe in the rights of grown adults to do whatever they want to do, as long as they're not harming others. Like that's you can't argue against that. My problem is when you skew so far left that you're forcing things on others, which is the situation we're in now. We have extreme left policies. This is wokeism. I mean,
Yeah. Have you seen the comment that Elon had in some interview where he was talking about this could potentially be the last American election that's like a true election?
Yeah.
Now, whether or not you buy into that or not is something else, because I think that the system chooses itself, but that's a topic of discussion for the other day. But essentially what he was saying was, the left is like bringing in all these people over the border and stuff like that, and they're gerrymandering in certain areas so that they end up voting blue. They're blue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that they vote blue, and essentially if they don't do something about it, there's going to be so many illegal immigrants that they're going to find a way in the next 4 years to figure out how to get them how to legally vote. And then there's not going to be enough people to vote for the Republican side of things.
Right.
So
No, it's
it's definitely a scary thing. Yeah.
We're in a situation right now. The media's lying. It's all. I mean, I agree. It's all. It's so crazy. Like oh, I've never witnessed anything like this. And when you're really paying attention, like first of all, watching the collapse of Biden and the administration, it's like, how are people not seeing it? And then you see the debate. Of course, the man is not capable to run the country. He wasn't
Yeah.
already. So
Yeah, it wasn't when he got in.
exactly. Right. So then, like, now we're going to back him out, and then we're going to just shoehorn in Kamala, who, by the way,
Hmm.
didn't win a single Democratic primary vote. Like, she lies through her freaking teeth. Her whole record is trash. I mean, you go back.
Yeah.
The only reason she got started into politics in her late 20s is because she was dating the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, who was a married man. So she's like a homewrecker doing all these things.
Yeah.
Her
But that's
record
kind of the
is
psychopaths of politics or whatever. That shit happens
right.
all the times in politics. So you seen it was a clip of like they're at some congressional hearing or whatever, and they start lifting off there's this many convicts, this many domestic assaults and stuff like that, and they're like, which sports organization do you think this is? And people were saying like NFL, blah blah blah, and they're like, no, this is actually the United States Congress.
Right.
And yeah, so like that shit happens all the time. We need to figure something out about that too. But continue.
Well, I mean, the whole thing. I mean, figuring out about it. Jesus. I mean, who knows? Anyway, yeah, it's just like people have this cognitive dissonance. Like they're so focused on their hatred of Trump, and I was in there too. Like Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, right?
Hmm.
Media tells you that he's bad. They do all they can to tell you that he's bad. All the comedy shows, all the everything is like this guy's an evil tyrant. Here's what he says. Here's the rhetoric that matches with Hitler. It's like okay, and then they only fact check him. They only want to call him a liar, and they let Kamala just say whatever she wants, and like all the while she's dodging the media. She won't do press. She didn't do the Al Smith dinner the other night, and she sent it. Did you watch any of this? Like she sent in this crazy.
Dude,
They
you know
recorded.
me. I try my best to really avoid these fucking huge political topics and stuff like that because, like, I just can't do it. It boggles my mind that people like that. There's a fandom around these people. Like,
I
these are the
know.
people
I know.
running our countries. It sucks, man.
Well, you
Like,
know me.
you're watching two people just fucking attack each other, and it's fucking terrible.
Well, you know me. I'm an RFK guy. I believe in
Yeah,
integrity. I believe in taking care of yourself. The man's freaking 70 years old and he's jacked. I mean,
he's
like
jacked.
he's fought his whole life to protect the little person. Like he's trying to help people
Hmm.
that who can't help themselves. He's dedicated himself as an attorney to cleaning up rivers and protecting the environment. Like such an important figure. And what does the media do? They try to spin him as some like crazy anti-vax.
Anti-vax, yeah,
Yeah,
piece
like
of shit.
they
Yeah,
try to vilify him every way they can while propping up people like Joe Biden, who's corrupt as fuck, you know.
yeah.
And then we got
I
Kamala
mean,
Harris, who's like a homewrecker, like crazy person who, I mean, honestly, she couldn't. I mean, she can't even handle tough questions. Every time she's on an
yeah.
interview and she's like has to deal with anything, she just like goes back to the same talking points, and it's always she's either stealing an idea that she's got from the Trump administration, or she's walking back something she said, and people will vote for it because like, oh, I can't vote for Trump.
Just because she's not Trump.
No, yeah,
Yes.
it's the craziest thing.
And that's what's so fucked up about the bipartisan government. The fact that if you really want to run for the like leader of the free world as we call it, you
Right.
have to be one of the part of the bipartisan government. And just because I'm moderate, I probably lean right a little bit, but when it comes down to it, man, like I don't want to vote for someone who fucking has certain viewpoints on one thing and like they have to stick to that no matter what. It just doesn't work for me. I live my own damn life, man.
Independent
Yeah.
thinking is important. We should
Yeah.
all like it's ridiculous to me how many people who will align themselves with the party and won't bail if the
Yeah.
party skews from there. And I have I had to draw this out to make it make sense in my head. But actually, hey, look, I gotta pee. Give me a second. Be right back.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna stop this then. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. He had the coffee got to him apparently, so we're just gonna circle back in. Fucking continue where you left off there, Jack.
Coffee got to me, man. You know,
Yep.
morning coffee. Anyway, uh, going deep on politics, going deep on the election, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, the issue I have right now, especially with what's going on, is just we clearly have the media pulling for one portion, and like I don't understand how people ignore that entirely. I don't understand the cognitive dissonance. I don't. We have multiple assassination attempts. We clearly have like a machine at work trying to get somebody elected. Why
Well,
people support that team or that, I don't understand. Like
I don't think that the media is really pulling one way or the other way. Maybe so, but at the end of the day, I think that just as many people are pulling for like the other side of things, the Trump side of things.
mm,
But I think that they're a little bit more muted because the giant multimedia corporations and stuff like that are mostly out in like California, and they're owned by these progressive people. Like they want to push that narrative. So I think that when it comes down to it, most people are smart enough to realize that Trump may or may not, and I don't even want to say that Trump is the fucking better electee that we have, but I think the more average day, everybody person, I think the majority of them are pulling for Trump. It's just they're muted because they don't have the means to get their message out there.
that's true. And you look at like the uprising of things like Rumble or Elon
Yeah.
buying X, like
Well,
and
and the thing about you say Rumble, the thing about Rumble is too, like I upload to Rumble and stuff like that. I know like the type of stuff. YouTube is an incredibly, they're owned by Google, which is incredibly progressive,
super left
and
wing.
Rumble is not touching near the numbers. It's a
No.
nice outlet. It's somewhere where that side of things can get their voice out. It's something where free speech is still a thing,
Hmm.
but there's just not people watching it, so it gets
Exactly.
again muted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. The audience is a vast minority for sure.
but
That's
but
important
I
that you
mean.
mentioned that too, because that's something that when I talk to people, they're like, oh, like you can Google this right now. I'm just like, okay, well, if you're Googling something, cool, that's fine. But you may have to dig 2 or 3 pages deep to get to something that actually
Mhm.
has like a kernel of truth, because they're going to have sponsored ads. They're going to have things that they're pushing that they want you to see.
Yeah,
I mean, that
anything you type into Google, fucking, it comes up sponsored. Fucking, as you can see the tag in the top left of every link that
literally.
it has. It'll say sponsored, so they want you to view those certain things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's a whole damn thing, man. Profits over people, money, money, money.
yeah,
So
for sure.
and it's going back to like YouTube, Google, Meta. I appreciate that Zuck came out and released that statement about the manipulation from the intelligence agencies a couple months ago, prior to the 2020
About
election, about Hunter
COVID.
Biden
Yeah.
and yeah, the suppression of the information about the laptop and all that. That's important, but people are still ignoring it. They're like, "Oh
Hmm.
no, election interference!" Like this is actually documented and factual. It's been admitted now that this was manipulated by the administration through our intelligence agencies, putting pressure on our social media sites where people usually get their news. Like, how do you not see a problem with that? How is there not a how do you not have an issue with the censorship? How do you not have an issue with, like, we should want to know these things, but people are
Yeah.
willfully ignorant, and then you have the same
I
people who will be like, "Oh well, I trust the government stats. I trust the FDA and the CDC," and it's like, bro, like, why? Why the
I don't
why?
I I don't necessarily think that people are willfully ignorant. I think that
They
they
are.
choose to because there's something. And this might be like a cognitive dissonance or just like fucking like subconsciously fucking suppressing it, because I think that a lot of people realize that we're in a predicament that we really can't do anything about it. Like I say all the time, like if we really
Agree.
want to do something about it, we need to like rise up and actually do something about it. But what the fuck are the American people or like people of the world going to do against these governments that have ballistic missiles and nuclear capabilities and stuff like that? At the end of the day, there's really nothing we can do it. And human nature is violence. Fucking, so it's not like fucking if we rise up, they're not going to fucking suppress it and do everything that they can to fucking counteract it. And I think that's like a subconscious thing that everyone kind of knows. Like, what are we really gonna do?
Well, okay, that's a good point. Here's the thing, though, man. There is comfort, and I've done a lot of reflection on this. I speak about this with Charles a lot, Charles Craig. There's comfort in being a part of a pack, and you see it. There's pack
Okay.
mentality. So when you don't have a
Let's
sense of
also
authenticity,
just real quick. I just want to cut you real quick. Try not to use people's full names. Just from a
apologies.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Just because I've lost some fucking job opportunities because of this,
right.
so I'm
Well,
trying to back that up.
Charles has got his own business. He don't give a shit. But
I,
whatever.
I,
Yeah,
I
I
get
got
you,
you.
but
Yeah, noted though. Noted.
it's
Got you.
more for me.
Yeah.
More for me than
Yeah.
it is for
Got
him.
you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So my bad. Anyway, regardless, what was I saying? Damn it, you cut me off.
I was talking about how people are just the willingful ignorance might not be as willingful because of just the immense power that fucking holds
Right.
us down.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, okay. So there's this pack mentality, right? Like there's I think when people lack a sense of self, and they don't have a lot of authenticity in who they are, they don't trust themselves, right? They don't trust their own critical thinking, their own logic, their own reasoning. It's more comfortable to accept what the people around you are saying in society at large. So you feel safer standing at the back of a pack rather than standing alone, thinking critically and confronting things that you
Yeah.
might really know. You're like in your head, you're like, this doesn't make any sense. And that's what we need. That's why I do what I do, and I think it's very important. So to counterpoint
Yeah.
what you said, like if we stop trying, if we give in, not only are our lives majorly affected, right? And I think there's an eternal struggle of good versus evil that's going on through time. I really do.
But
Uh,
I
what?
I do think that the reason why that happens is because the people who are in the pack mentality are the people that are actually voting and stuff like that. The people who do stand out or whatever, they're scared to voice their own opinions because there is no representation behind them. Like when it comes down to it, like we talked about before, there is a bipartisan government. You have to be one way or you have to be the other. So when you're someone who's in the middle, one, it's hard to even find what side you would really align with, and two, there's just no one really to represent you, so you just stay quiet about it. Why would I try to stand on the fringes of whatever political bullshit that we got going on when there's really not going to be anything about it? Then you just get looked at as a maniac and someone who's fucking radical.
Because it's what's right. That's the only. I don't give a shit.
And that's
I don't care.
that's fair
How many
enough. I
people
don't
tell me that
either.
I'm radical or that I've been called a fascist, I've been called a racist, a misogynist, whatever. I don't care about anybody's labels about me because if you really know me, you know that I care about all people and I will give the shirt off my back to anybody. I've done it over and over again. I'm a giving person. I'm a loving person. I'm compassionate. I'm empathetic. I don't care about any of the people's labels. That's what you have to do. You have to separate yourself from the fact that people are going to attack you. They're going to try to dumb you down. They're going to attack your intellect. They're going to attack your intelligence. But really, what they're doing is they're projecting on you because they're afraid. They're afraid to actually
Because they lack it themselves.
yeah. Well, like they don't actually take the time to be like every single person should spend time just dealing with the possibility, the probability actually that you're wrong about the things that you believe in. That's the only way you grow. Maybe you're right about some of it. Maybe you're wrong about some of it. Bam. Open-mindedness, healthy skepticism. These things are so important to growth as a human being in general.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're trying to seek enlightenment, which I think is the end all be all goal for any human being. That's that, man.
I don't necessarily think that everybody believes that, but I mean, like people like us, our entire family is like very outspoken people. We do stand on the fringes of whatever it is that we believe, but I just don't think many people are like that, man. Fucking at the end of the day, and also size has a lot to do with it. And people like I'm talking about physical size. Fucking people underestimate that a lot. Like I get away with saying things to people that fucking my smaller friends cannot say. They'll get cussed out at that point. But you know, if you have the threat of maybe possibly getting your ass beat about it, then all of a sudden people don't want to say it. And you know just as well as I though that all the people calling you fascist and fucking this, that, and the other, they only do it on social media. They would never say that shit to your fucking face.
Right. Well, also, like I'm not a violent person. You know,
Yeah.
I won't hurt someone unless that's why I like
Doesn't matter.
I'm 37 years old, still love contact sports, baby. Let's see me in the streets. See me on the field.
Yeah.
You know.
Du-
But yeah, no. On that note, though, like unless I'm standing up for someone, I was talking to my son about this the other day because he's talking about how like I don't let anyone disrespect me at school. I said no. First of all, get a little thicker skin. If someone's just talking crap about you, who gives a shit?
Oh well.
Yeah, right. But now if someone's talking about your mom or someone's talking about your friends who can't stick up for themselves, like then I will support you and you standing up
Yeah.
for them. But
I am way more likely to pop someone over something they say about me. I could give a fuck less what you say about me.
yeah, at all. Don't care at all. Don't care at all.
Yeah.
You want to tell me I'm ugly? I don't care. I don't care. I'm handsome.
Well, you are.
No, first of all,
Objectively.
objectively handsome. Anyway,
No.
yeah, beautiful eyes. Anyway, anyway, but damn it, bro.
Derail it real quick. Good old your house all rules derailment, baby. Fuck yeah. Hey, we can move on, man. I think we hit it as much as we can. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess just I am excited for the election to get over with. I have no idea what's going to happen. I know the polls are lying. Trump is absolutely.
You can never trust what the polls are saying, man. Fucking ever.
And they're doing everything they can to manipulate things. I am fearful. There are already reports of the Pentagon. There's actual new policies being put in place for how we can institute martial law in case of civil unrest, which is dangerous. There is already a go-ahead for lethality to be used against the American people. Scary as hell. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But yeah, no. I mean, I really don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't place a bet if I could, because it is like, I mean, it's very underhanded. The machine is at work. They're doing everything they can to get.
I think a lot of that just has to do with because there is like civil unrest with the elections or whatever. Like, we've never been more divided as a people as we are right now, and it definitely shows. I don't necessarily think we're at like civil war, like that sort of unrest or anything where they would need to declare martial law. Yeah, when something happens, there might be like a fucking, what was it, the January 6th or whatever, like raiding of the fucking Capitol building or whatever. There may be some stuff like that, maybe not that per se, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be something that would require martial law or like actual fucking fatalities from the government on United States citizens. But we'll see.
Well, yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. I can't imagine a situation where our military would do that, but whatever. Yeah, you'd hope for that. At that point, we're defying orders and doing what's right. Although I'm over setting expectations up for people where they should do the right thing. A lot of people lack integrity and empathy and self-awareness and whatever. I could go on and on about that. But anyway, let's wrap that up. Let's go into something.
Wrap it up. Yeah, let's go on. Fucking, let's move into sports, bro. Fucking, what you want to talk about first when it comes to sports?
Let's talk a little Bengals.
You want to talk about Bengals? I figured that's where we're going to go, baby. Fucking,
also talk about stat leaders. I just want to lead off with, holy crap. Like, okay, I see all the talk. I see all the talk about you hate Zach Taylor, you hate Lou Anarumo. Zach Taylor is not the best. I think he might be the worst coach in the AFC North, but I think he's a middle of ground coach. I don't think he's terrible. Okay.
So fucking ZT saying that he's the worst of the fucking AFC North fucking coaches. That's fucking outside of the Browns. That's not saying much because fucking the two most tenured fucking coaches in the NFL are in the AFC North.
Like, Tomlin, they're great, and Stefanski's not a bad coach. Like, he's won Coach of the Year twice already. Yeah, the organization sucks, but Stefanski's a good coach. Oh yeah.
But I've never been a fan of ZT. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of what he's done. I'm a fan of the locker room fucking morale that he's built around the city of Cincinnati. He's built a culture in this city. But as for the play calling, I just don't think it's there, and we need to go somewhere else. I don't understand what people are talking about Lou Anarumo. Actually, Doug Peterson said this on the Jaguars. He's like, we can have as much talent as we want. I can call it the best plays that are meant for this certain scenarios. But if my players are unable to execute, then we're going to lose games. And our defense cannot execute right now. We showed a little bit against the Giants, but dude, they're one of the worst offenses in the fucking NFL.
Yeah, he's having to compensate for the fact that we can't fill gaps and stop the run by blitzing too much. And playing
stack the box every single time. They're going to dump it over on every single time.
Slow and not playing smart. The only reason we lost the Ravens is because, I mean, honestly, Geno Stone lost freaking Isaiah Likely in the end zone. Like, that's your one job. Just don't lose your man. We've got Sam Hubbard getting stiff-armed twice by Lamar Jackson. Okay, first of all, that should not happen, bro. Like, use your hands and slap that arm down on a fumbled snap. But then also, like, you just don't. Like, what are you guys doing? You're all just standing in the end zone and Isaiah Likely's running free? Like, come on. Anyway. No, it's not Lou's fault. Zach Taylor, yes, I do agree. We could do better, but we could also do worse. So I don't know how we,
and that's the thing with it.
Season firing anyway, it's not going to happen, by the way.
No, and it's not going to happen. He probably won't get fired regardless. But you get like Saleh gets fired from the Jets or whatever, and we get these stupid ass fans talking about fucking picking him up. Like, why? Okay. He didn't do fucking shit with the Jets. I'd take ZT over that. Like you say, ZT's probably like a middle of the road of coach, but it's the NFL, dude. People have been fired over less.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you have like arguably the best quarterback in the league this year and fucking one of the best offenses, and you're not getting it done there, it's time to switch it up.
I agree. I agree. Well, here's the thing. Our offense is great. It could be better, for sure. We don't do enough to free up our best players, but teams do just focus on taking away Jamar, and that's why T's going off. We have so many skilled players. Chase Brown's going off. Our offensive line is better than it has been, even with the injury to Trent Brown. Uh, and on that subject about quarterbacks, I will say the only quarterback right now having a better season than Burrow is Lamar, and his team's doing better. He deserves the recognition. But I saw the QB index that just came out from NFL.com, and they still have Mahomes over Lamar,
Yeah, they're just sucking him off, dude.
Just like, are you kidding me? Like he's thrown like 6 touchdowns to 6 interceptions,
But,
where Joe Burrow's got
well,
12-2. The yards per average is better. The yards overall is better. His rushing yards are better. The only thing that Mahomes is doing better is he hasn't fumbled as much. And it's just like God, bro, like get off
go
nuts, man.
go on like NFL.com or ESPN or whatever and just type in passing leaders and stuff like that.
I'm looking at
fucking
it right now.
Joe Burrow is like before last week was 1 or 2 in every major statistic.
Yeah.
When it comes to like completion percentage and fucking like just QBR and stuff like that, he's dominating.
Yep.
12 fucking TDs and 2 interceptions, and fucking game 1 didn't even count because fucking he didn't do shit against the Patriots.
Right.
The dude is the worst fear that I have for this season is that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow will have numbers that will obviously put them ahead of everybody else for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, and they will not get it because they are the Bengals and they did not make the playoffs.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna say outright, the Bengals aren't going anywhere this year, man. They're not. Their offense he can put up 50 touchdowns this year, but that defense isn't stopping some of these teams down the line. We got to stop the Ravens twice, Steelers twice, Browns with Chubb fucking potentially twice. The fucking Chargers can run the ball this year, and fucking Jim Ball looks good. And fucking the Eagles, like, we're gonna go play those teams and win? I don't think so.
I think we will. I disagree with you there. We could. I mean, obviously, it's a toss-up. You never know. But no, I do agree with you. Burrow's putting him MVP numbers. I mean, right here looking at it, 12 touchdowns. I think the only person who's got more is Mayfield, who's having a freaking season. Mayhem, baby. Love him. Always have.
Yeah.
Browns, you suck. You're stupid. Gee,
Yeah,
so stupid.
And you know what?
NFL.
I think this upcoming game right now is the big prove it game. We always struggle against the Browns, and
Right.
the Browns, they may have Chubb in the backfield from what I understand, but he's coming off an injury, so this would be the game to win. And this is like the one division game that I really see us fucking actually having a chance to maybe beating them again. But we're losing to the Ravens again, and we're losing to the Steelers twice.
I don't see. I see it differently. I think we can go to Baltimore if we're healthy on the D line and win that game. I don't think we're better than the Steelers. Their offense is trash. We'll see how Russell Wilson does. Their defense is good, but
Did they put Russell in?
Huh? Yeah, they put Russell
Did
in
they-
now, and Justin Fields has been shitty. So I don't know what you're looking at. Their
I-
offense
I
cannot
thought
score.
Justin-
They're winning games off defense and special teams. Also, that's another thing. Our special teams is playing really good outside of the botched snap and the missed field goal against the Ravens. Our special teams, our punter's playing great. McPherson's locked in. Our returners are doing a good job.
Man, going back to the Steelers, like I think their offense is playing fine considering what they were last year. And the thing that scares me about them, their defense is going to be able to stop us. And if you put Justin Fields in the backfield along with their run game and stuff like that, our fucking run game is not going to stop them, dude. Pickens being a little diva might be an advantage for us.
I'm not worried about their offense one bit. Their defense obviously is a matchup thing, but regardless, just looking at like stat leaders overall, bro. Like, dude, Trey Hendrickson's right out of the top 5 for sack leaders. He's the only one getting any freaking pressure. Jesus, Mark Murphy step up. Jesus, Sam Herbert step up. we need a Sheldon Rankins get right game right now against the Browns. And here's what I think about the Browns game overall. I guarantee we're gonna get the ball first. This is what we do. We go down,
which is stupid.
I don't mind it. Go down.
I get creating something offensively, but I've always been a defer guy.
Well, if we go down and put the ball in the end zone right away, and the Browns, because this is the first time that I think Cleveland's been home in 4 weeks, in like a month. As soon as that happens, and we come out and stop Deshaun because he's like bottom 3 quarterbacks in the league, the crowd is gonna just go wild. They're gonna not even fucking support it. They're gonna be calling for Jameis Winston. And at that point, it could be blowout city. But on the other hand, if we come out and we can't stop the damn run, which we're healthy on the D line, we should be fine. And their O line is not what it has been. If they come out and they run the ball down our throats and they are keeping us off the field, and we're not. And Myles Garrett also, who is not healthy, by the way, this has not been super reported on, but he's having issues with his feet. There's a chance that if they lose this game and he might have to have surgery. I've been rumors about that. Anyway, if we can do that and we don't let him pin his ears back, this could be a blowout and a huge get right game. 3-4 going into the Eagles next week, which also we're better than the Eagles. We are. We're better than the Eagles. We are.
I think so.
We are.
Bro,
Our defense is better. Our offense is better.
You agreed with me the other day when I said that the only team on paper that is better offensively is fucking the Eagles. Best O-line, fucking A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, fucking Saquon Barkley, fucking Dallas Goedert. Like, that team is fucking stacked. They should be undefeated right now.
Their culture sucks, though, and Sirianni's, in my opinion, the bottom 5 head coach.
Really? You don't like Sirianni like that?
Hate him. I think he's stupid.
I think he's kind of lost it, but I think he's an all right coach. But the Eagles, that is the one thing about the Eagles that kind of got me question marking it, because at the beginning of the year I was like, that's a definite loss. It's just the fact that they have not played well with the fucking talent that they have. They do not look as good as I thought they were going to be. They were my Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the year.
I agree. It's coaching, because their GM's awesome. Yeah. Roseman's a G. Anyway, let's wrap this up so we don't go too hard on the Bengals. Let's talk a little fantasy.
Okay. I'm fucking absolutely demoralized right now.
I know you're looking rough. You're about to start 4-3 maybe.
Dude, yeah, I got a tough one with James this weekend because he's one of the better. He's got one of the better teams in the league right now. But I got Jonathan Taylor and Nico Collins, who are both out for a couple games. I had a bunch of buys last week, which I played Tibbs, and Tibbs should have been a win for me, but I had 3 guys on bye, 2 guys out, and 3 guys questionable before the fucking game even started. And I just had to pull off my bench, and he had a game where some players went off, like Godwin went off for him. I'm trying to think of who else he had last week, but yeah, he had by far his best game of the year, and I had probably my worst. I think that was my lowest scoring game of the year. And now, I'm coming in and I just got a couple like really tough matchups. I'm not going to be able to do it off the top of my head, but I had to take Pickens out because he's just fucking being an absolute diva and he's not putting up numbers. Yep. I have I think Mostert in right now because I didn't want to play Algier against they're playing Detroit. And I picked him up last week off waivers, and Detroit's just gonna fucking manhandle him. I feel like, and plus Robinson's gonna get all the Bijan is gonna get most of the touches there. Unless fucking Allen goes off, I get some decent games from other people, and maybe a Breece Hall good game. But they play a really good defense this week, so it's looking like I might drop to 4-3. But I got a stacked team this year.
You do.
I just need to get healthy.
I'm currently favored by 30 points over your dad, who, by the way, went 14-0 and then lost in the championship. I feel awful for him. Yeah. Which all I really care about is Hubbard not repeating, which he's doing well. He's favored this week to go to 5-2, which means that most likely he and I will be the only 5-2 teams after this week. It's a good season though. It's thick. It's nice to see Bailey with their Bengals team going hard. Going well,
dude,
better.
I tripped on Bailey. I was like, you're probably not going to win a game because she drafted Higgins, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, Bengals defense, and Joe Burrow. Then I'm looking at her team and she's got Kittle and Stephon Diggs and a couple fucking role players and stuff like that. I was like, damn, her team's actually legit. And after the Patriots game initially happened and the Bengals came, their offense started going. I was like, you know what? Having Jamar and Joe Burrow, they're going to put up numbers this year. Their offense is teams are not going to be able to stop their offense. The reason why I don't think they're going to do good this year is because I think that certain defenses will be able to stop them at least once or twice.
Right.
And our defense won't be able to stop anybody.
We'll see. I think the defensive line is getting better, being more cohesive. We need to work Jordan Battle in a little bit more. We've got a couple players who are really making our draft class overall is decent at worst. Amarius Mims looks good. Eric All looks good. Jermaine Burton, he's got the talent, but he needs to get his head out of his ass and learn the playbook and earn Joe Burrow's trust. I see a lot of people talking about why isn't he playing? It's obvious why he's not playing. He doesn't
Yeah.
have the trust of the offense. We can't have the timing off for a timing quarterback. Like Joe
Yeah.
Burrow is locked in, hits T and Jamar every freaking route.
Bro,
because he knows where they're
that's
at.
what I tried to tell fucking Drew, because Drew is so adamant. Why not put Burton in? Why not put Burton in? I was like, dude, when you have a quarterback that reads defenses like Joe Burrow, one step could be the difference between a fucking completion or a
An
pick.
interception, exactly. You can't
Yeah.
have that. You can't have it. So he needs to figure that shit out. And it might not be this year. Maybe the character concerns aren't an issue, but we took a flight. What was he, around 2 or around 3? He was around 2, right? Around 3.
3 or 4.
No, he was
I think it
around
was 3.
3, yeah, because we took the DT, Kristen, what is it?
And then Chris Jenkins.
Yeah, Chris Jenkins, and then Amari Sims in round 1. Yeah, he was either late round 2 or early round 3. Anyway, regardless.
It was
yeah,
3.
Yeah. But yeah, man, hey, looking good. I'm feeling good about this. Is my favorite fantasy league this year. It's been a good run so far.
It's a tight little league that we got going on right now. And
Yeah.
last week there was like a little bit of a division, and all the bad teams won and all the good teams lost. Like me, you, and my dad were kind of the top 3 teams.
Yep.
And all 3 of us had
James.
bad showings.
Yeah.
And James, yeah. And you had a terrible week last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I caught up to you in points 4. What?
I was
Yeah.
I was due a
Yeah.
bad week. I still have the most points scored overall.
Yeah, I caught up with you a little bit because you were ahead by a decent amount after I had some injuries and stuff like that. But I still put up like 115, something like that last week, because Josh Allen and Breece Hall both ended up having a big game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Fucking, I just hope I can get some people back, because I think if Jonathan Taylor and Nico Collins are healthy, that I got the best team in that division.
That'd be a good one.
Pitts is starting to, that tight end. That's one that I'm really worried about. Like the whole tight end, and I also have what's his name? From New Orleans, the tight end who plays like running back and stuff like that. I have him on my bench.
Talking about Taysom Hill or no?
Taysom Hill, yeah.
The tight end,
Yeah.
running back, whatever quarterback. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no.
Well, he's listed as a tight end.
Yeah, he does.
I've thought about playing him a couple times because Pitts doesn't show up. Pitts has been playing a little bit, but he's been fucking questionable every game of the year. He's only played one game, from what I understand. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's about all I got for that, man. Let's wrap it up. That's a good one. Good talk.
Yeah, no, good little episode. I'm gonna have to fucking throw some shit together now and upload the two parts as one. But fucking dickhead.
All right. Hey, coffee, baby. Coffee.
Coffee. But yeah. Anyway, this has been another episode of Your House Our Rules. Until next time.